Welcome to Adjunctitis, from surviving to thriving, teaching hacks to reduce stress, save time, and avoid common pitfalls. I'm April Brown, an associate professor of journalism at Cal State LA. Welcome to Season 2. I am proud to announce that Adjunctitis is a 2024 Webby honoree in the Advice and How-To category, but enough about that. Welcome to Episode 19, The Teacher Becomes the Student. First, a story. When I got into teaching full-time, I thought I was done being the quote-unquote student in the classroom, especially at this point in my life. But I quickly learned, and I've referenced this before, we are not just magically good teachers, especially those of us who've had no formal training and come from professional backgrounds. So the pragmatism I gained as a deadline-driven journalist, especially in an era of doing more with fewer resources, well, that came to the front of my mind once again. If there's a more efficient and effective way to do something, I look into it. And it seemed to me there must be a better way than the way I was doing it, which was teaching the way I'd been taught when I was in college many, many years ago. That's why when the opportunity to take a year-long class on how to be a better teacher came up, I took it. And there aren't just courses on teaching best practices out there. Your college or university probably has other offerings that might include things like AI, online course development, or even inclusive teaching. You've heard from my colleague Julian Reyes before, and though he recently pivoted from full-time TV news person to professor, he also took the opportunity to learn about how to support a diverse range of students, which we have at Cal State LA. So today, we are going to learn from him.
Even if you're a new teacher, you have things to share, and you particularly have been learning things on your own through our Center for Teaching and Learning, CETL. They offered a class and you took it. Tell me a little bit about the class and why you chose to take it.
Each class has been diverse, and Cal State LA is a commuter school, definitely a commuter school, and it's so diverse, and, you know, the students are hungry, and I felt like I needed to take this class so that I could really teach them well and be able to maneuver and change at a dime, so to speak. Be able to switch and change and not necessarily go with the flow, but be able to, you know, switch my train of thought and switch what I mean and give them other options. And so this class has really taught me that, and to kind of look out of the box, you know, and how to teach, you know. And I remember I took it from you, where, you know, they do the health check-ins and everything. And oh my gosh, when I wrote a 2-page paper on that and I submitted it, like all the other professors that are in this class with me, they were like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea, and this and that.
Which ironically I got for the Center for Teaching and Learning as a tool to use during the pandemic, which is in one of the earlier Adjunctitis episodes if you haven't caught it already.
So this class has really helped me.
What's it called?
Diversity in the classroom. Yeah. And the interesting part about the class is that when I was going through that situation with my student who is with the Office of Disabilities, who's disabled, when I was going through that with him, I was actually writing a paper on it because it was the subject that we were going over during that chapter. And so I was living it, and I had so much to write on it, and had so much to say that we ended up having a Zoom meeting, and we talked in a group about it because I was living it, and it was kind of comical because it just, that chapter and what I was living it hit at the same time. So it couldn't have been better, but that really helped me get through this, and that really helped me become more of an advocate for my student, and even for my student who's helping my student edit and shoot, you know, and that taught me, that really taught me that sometimes I have to be an advocate. I can't just be a professor. I have to be an advocate. And so I enjoy the class, you know. Of course we moved on and stuff, but yeah, it's really, that class has really helped me to be able to be more of a diverse teacher and a professor and teach more in a diverse level in my classroom.
What are some of the basic lessons you've learned that we can pass on now that'll be like, here's a thought, take it further if you want to, but what are the most profound takeaways that you've had so far? I mean, the semester's nearly over.
From the class or from my class?
I would say first, let's go from the diversity class you're taking. Sounded like the serendipitousness was just right, but what else have they said that stuck?
To really focus on each student's individuality. So each student comes with, we all come with a separate baggage, or, we come from separate backgrounds, different backgrounds, et cetera, et cetera. Not to teach each student like everybody's in the same group, because everybody has different problems and different issues and they're going through different things. I didn't even think about that until I took this class. So that, in sense, has enabled me to help to other students that I have other issues that I'm going through. And again, thank God I have you as my mentor, because sometimes when I'm unsure, then I ask you and you kind of put the nail on the head, and I'm like, okay, that's the route that I learned in this class. So that's the right route.
Oh, good. At least I'm saying things that make sense according to them.
It's that. It's taking each student, because we're all diverse, and honing in on their individuality and teaching it like that. And so that's what pushed me on doing a lot of the one-on-one. Like after I lecture, and instead of saying, doing a blanket statement saying, hey, does anybody have any questions? I go to each one of them and I have my little checklist and my little notepad, and I talk to Anthony, I talk to so-and-so, so then I know that I did my best during that class period. So that's what this class has taught me. And it's helped. It's definitely helped. Because you don't think about these things when, especially being a new adjunct, I don't think about any of those things.
You've got so much more to worry about.
I'm thinking about hitting the bullet points that I have to do on the syllabus or on what the state needs me to do, and, making sure that what says in, what the class is about, that I hit all that, and so that's a lot, but I very much enjoyed this class. It's not over.
Fingers crossed. I think it will be by the time this gets posted. But what about some of the takeaways just in general from your first few semesters of teaching? What advice would you give to people coming in?
Not to jump the gun so quickly. Kind of fill out the situation, look around and kind of really feel what's going on in a more personal level. Because again, you don't know what that student's going through or that person's going through. You don't know. Because what they show you is totally different than what's really going on behind the scenes. So I would step back and not jump the gun, and excuse my language, not go ape shit right away, and just kind of like gather up all the information like a detective and make a solid decision, good or bad, based on everything that you've collected. But just know that your main goal at the end is to teach the student so they can move on and be as successful as they can be.
That's all we have for this episode. My thanks to Julian Reyes for sharing his wisdom with us. And as always, there are resources related to this topic in the teaching tools section of our website, adjunctitis.com. If you have questions you'd like me to try and answer, please send them to questions@adjunctitis.com. Meanwhile, social media is a great tool to get everyone involved in the conversation. Right now, we're on Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube with the handle @adjunctitis. And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/adjunctitis. If this has been helpful, we'd appreciate a follow, a thumbs up, or even a review. It does help more people find us. Please spread the word and help those who ask you for help. It's good teaching karma. Adjunctitis is a Look at It This Way production. I'm April Brown. Thank you for listening. Class dismissed.